Try it again, shall we? Yanni, take it away.
Foo Fighters
Foo
are back
Fighters. Foo-
with the
Ah,
album, but here we are. We are here together, and we're going to talk about this album. I just want to say though, was not expecting
no.
this at all. I can't wait to delve deep into these tracks with you. First two songs, singles we've covered. They are Rescued and Under You. These have both grown on me massively since when I first heard them, especially in the context of the album. As a complete piece of work, these two sound great, and they're so well, they're catchy for one, massive sounding, which a lot of the album is, to be fair. But yeah, great choruses. Dave's vocals are great. Dave's playing on the drums is great again. I'm going to be very complimentary towards Dave throughout this whole album, if I'm honest with you. But it'll get more in depth. But yeah, definitely grown on me these two. And if I'm going to just put on a song or two from this album, it'll probably just be these two. If I just want to quickly listen to something from it, just because they're quite straightforward. There are other songs that I prefer, which we'll get to, but just yeah, I just want to remind myself of this album. Put these on, very very quick and easy to listen to.
What I'm going to say might come across as a negative, but
Go
I
on.
could assure you it's not. I think that they've just gone back to basics with this album. I wouldn't say that. I think basics is the wrong word, but the fundamentals of the Foo Fighters,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
they've done
I
it
don't think that's a bad thing.
It doesn't
very
seem
well.
like nothing's overthought.
No, yeah, exactly. And it doesn't sound like them. It doesn't sound like they're a Foo Fighters tribute band. It sounds like if you'd have told me this was released, I don't know, 2002 or whatever, I think I believe you.
Yeah.
Which is, compliments to Dave and
Co.
Compliments to the chef.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with everything you said about them too, Yanni. I wasn't too mad on them in terms of individual tracks. I enjoyed them, but I probably would never have gone back to them. But now I like them both a lot.
Same feelings. Him.
Listen, I'm not here. I'm not ready or prepared to talk about this album track by track. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I do like these songs. I like them from the beginning. From them as singles. However, thought that we've talked about this many times. The lyrics may be a little bit too on the nose. But I think within the context of the album, it really doesn't. That doesn't stand out too much at all, and musically, it really plays really well.
Okay. Just because when you said the other day that you were listening to the album and then you were going to tell us about your thoughts when you were
Yeah, I
talking
can.
to us at
We're
that
not.
time.
We don't. We don't do track by track anymore. So you're going against the rules here.
Right. Okay. Hearing Voices is the next track. I'm going to say this is one of Foo's best songs in a long time. The whole end part where it's Dave, the piano, and acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
If the whole song was that, that would be amazing. I love that section. It sounds so good. Um, I don't. I always feel like when I say stuff like this, it comes across like I'm trying to be negative towards it, and I don't know what this adds to anything. But there's a riff in the chorus, high riff on the guitar that sounds like another song. There's just a section of it, and I can't remember what song it is. But every time I hear it, I think that sounds really nice. Yeah, this was obviously not a single, so I was quite surprised when this came on. When I was listening to it, I was quite blown away by it.
I agree. You can really hear the emotion in it. Um, it's it's nice to have a different side to the album so soon, but still feel well. It doesn't feel out of place. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I can't believe how much I've enjoyed this. To be honest.
Yeah, I think this is the start of it where it's like there's chord voicings and like melody choices in it where it's very early Foo Fighters, especially this end bit that I've gone on about to a stupid degree at this point. But like that's very like it sounds like it's ripped out straight from like a demo from like the early 2000s or late 90s. It's just magical. Liam, sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, this was obviously this is the moment
Nice.
where we've shut up. This is the moment where we've heard two songs that we knew as singles, and so it's the real test now. Is what's coming next? Where's this album going to go? And yeah, when this first came on, I was like, just kind of shocked, I suppose, with like just how high quality it is. And as you mentioned, Yanni, that end section really kind of just elevates the whole thing, and it makes it feel so like personal at that point. And to get that so early, something that feels so like really kind of deep in a way, but it doesn't feel heavy at the same time. Like it sits well as the third song on the album. I think it's really really well done.
Yeah. Next one, but here we are. And yeah, sorry, I do know I'm going in order, but I don't know how else to describe or talk about this album without doing it. It feels like it's the right album to do this with. But here we are, massive chorus. And this was one of the first songs, apart from the singles, where I thought it's amazing that he can still sing like this. Like it's unreal at his age
Absolutely.
that he
Absolutely.
has got this, and he still smokes quite a lot, from my understanding, and he can still absolutely pull this off without any problems. It's just fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what to say without just repeating myself, but I don't want to shit on them for Medicine at Midnight, but fucking hell, it was
Do it.
bad.
Oh, please do.
Oh, it was so bad, and I'm so sorry for Taylor that was the last studio album that
Yeah.
he was on. When they've still got this in the locker, it's an injustice. But
Well,
it
the
feels
sad
like,
thing is they've only got this in the locker probably because of
well, yeah,
the
maybe,
things that
maybe, yeah,
happened. I mean, it wasn't just Taylor. Dave obviously lost his mum, wasn't he?
yeah.
So
But yeah, it just feels like they've kind of got their mojo back. This song, I mean, I wouldn't say it necessarily stands out in terms of the album, but it definitely stands up with some of the best songs they've released over the years. On Spotify, for example, if you put on a Foo Fighters mix and this was in there, you wouldn't think, "Fucking hell, they've lost it." This would still be one of the best songs on there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites off this album, but it's a very solid song. It definitely is better than anything I remember from that last album. And yeah, it's just so powerful. So you're right. The fact that Dave can pull this off is incredible, to be honest.
yeah, next one is The Glass. This was, and I remember at the time thinking the same thing, and I'm still in that same mindset. This is probably my least favorite of the whole album.
Me too.
It's I don't like the vocal production at the start because it's done in a way that it fits the heavier part, but not the tamer part that's at the start. So it's mixed for that part, but not the earlier start. It's weird, and I just think it's a bit too cheesy. Maybe is the wrong word. I don't know. That's what I want to basically say anyway. Like it doesn't live up to the rest of the album.
I think it's the right place for it if it has to be included. It's a good time
Mm.
for it to come, but I don't think it's executed that well. I agree. I think I could live without this track completely.
I didn't really. I wouldn't say it stood out to me really, in a particular way, but it also was fine on listen. I've only actually listened to this album in full twice, to my own detriment. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like stuck out like sore thumb. Is basically what I'm saying. But yeah, also not one of the best for sure.
Yep. Next up, Nothing at All. The build up
Oh, mate,
to the
tell me about it.
chorus and then hitting into the chorus is so fun. Every time that happens, it's fucking great. What's been captured in that audio span is great. I really like this song as well.
Can I just tell you? I know we don't compare, but I saw a certain Mr. Melon Man wear a certain colour flannel shirt, and I just couldn't resist going and have a little watch. This was his least favourite song.
Wrong.
It's so wrong. This is, Yanni, you used a great adjective, fun. It's a great, just a good time. And yeah, that pre-chorus, I've listened to it about 5 times, that pre-chorus, since we've been talking about this album, just looping it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At this again, don't really.
God, you bitch.
It just I don't really remember it that much, as opposed to some of the others on this album.
Put it on now. Get to the
Um,
pre-chorus.
I'm listening to it. Yeah, it's
Treat
good.
yourself.
Yeah, it reminds me. I don't. This is absolutely not meant to be pejorative at all. Of some era, but I can't place it. Of Paramore. So that's that.
Yeah.
More so after the chorus when it goes back into verse. Something like guitar and the drums.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, kind of get me.
Okay,
Yeah, I've got
right.
nothing more to say about that. Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Next up, Show Me How. This is another single released just before the album. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's great to hear that Fuse can pull this style off. It's very shoegazy, warm, fuzzy feeling in the tummy. Callum's gonna say that now. Violet Grohl's vocals add so much to it. It's good to hear Dave doing like harmonies with her, because he sort of takes a back seat in the chorus. It sort of flips, and it's good. She ends up doing like the main vocal throughout the chorus, but melodically, I mean, but yeah, great. Just floating off listening to this. It's great.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of something that I've just thought of now, listening to it. But it kind of makes me feel the way the Zephyr song makes me feel,
Okay. Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
can literally just imagine lying outside and just having this on the whole time. As you say, the chorus is just amazing. It's just lovely. It's quite lyrically, it's quite simple, but the addition of the harmonies, and with that kind of only really being the only time it's done on the album, especially female harmonies,
Mm.
it really stands out, and it's one of the most poignant sounds
Yes.
on the record.
Indeed.
Yeah, I absolutely get the Chili Peppers link there. When I listened to this album last, actually, at some point I remember thinking, but I didn't make a note, and so maybe it was this. Maybe I had a telepathic thought of it. But I was placing
Okay.
more One Hot Minute. I'm not.
I'm joking. I'm
I
joshing.
don't actually remember when it was, but at some point on the album, and this seems to fit the most now. I'm thinking back to it. But yeah, I think it's great, and I think, as you say, Yanni, the vocals between him and Violet kind of weaving in and out between the two. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Speaking of lovely, next song, Beyond Me, fucking goosebumps. I'm reading along. Well, when I was reading along to the lyrics, and I'm listening to it now, I'm reading alongs. Towards the end of it, there was a little bit of dampness in the eye. It's a beautiful moment, and it's more ballady, but it works. And Dave's performance really sounds like the wrong word
I
to
know
use. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
I know exactly what you
But
mean.
it really sells it. It's just great.
Yeah,
Beautiful song.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah, definitely. When it kicks in as well, it's so well done. Like it beat by beat, perfect way to kind of throw that in. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
one of those songs where like I could predict what's going to happen, but it's the best thing for that song to do what it does. Basically, like
It was
everything that
done
happens,
perfectly.
it's perfectly.
Yeah.
The Teacher was also, I think, a single, wasn't it?
It was the last one, I think.
Yeah, 10-minute. So Carl, strap in. 10-minute song, but I'm just in awe that we're getting something like this from Foos at this point in time in their lives, in our lives, in all our lives.
I just want to say this is the same band who released "The Sky Is a Neighborhood" not 5 years ago.
Mm.
And they've just come out with a song like this, and you just think, why?
Yeah, I mean, this again is one of those ones like Hearing Voices, where it's got that sort of melody and the chord choices, very like when we've said multiple times at this point, the decade that it's trying to, it sounds like. And I'm just amazed that I listen to this and I don't feel like I get bored at sort of really any point. It keeps you entertained throughout. And it is quite simple though. So it does a good job of what it does.
Absolutely. I mean, you say about me strapping in, but when a 10-minute song does enough to keep you engaged, I'm all for it. And I think this does. I do think, I mean, Dave screaming goodbye at the end is just kind of like heartbreaking.
Mm.
I feel like it's difficult because the next song is also really nice and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But this just should have been the ender. That
Yeah.
should have been it. That,
Mm.
which is a shame because Rest is great and I think it does a good job of closing it. But
Yeah.
if
That's
that if that was the end, you just think fucking hell, like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that definitely. Yeah, it's a tricky one because I do think Rest is also a good ender, but the teacher anyway. Yeah, I can't say I'm a huge fan of like the first part. But there are like 4 or 5 distinct parts to this song. The last part where it kind of slows down has that really good groove. Love that bit. Absolutely love that part. And yeah, as a full song, it's brilliantly crafted.
nice one. Last song on the
Cheers,
album,
mate.
Rest. Again, to sound like an echo here.
Sorry?
Yep. The chords, production, the way Dave sounds, like actually sounds singing of this sounds like it could be a demo from like he recorded when he was like in Nirvana, trying to like write his own stuff. Because there's a couple of songs where there's stuff like that that's about, and it sort of fits like that vibe of it. It's weird to know that he can still sort of do that. So it feels nostalgic listening to this for that reason for me. That fucking switch up where it gets heavy, the biggest whiplash of my life.
So gnarly.
It's fucking great though. The ending, there's a note that when he's singing like the bit that gets repeated that is out of key, with like the tone of it is like not in the same key as what the other instruments are playing. It works so well that I don't care. It's not in the right melodic key for it. And the last lyrics are sort of great as well. Again, almost shed a tear listening to it. That's me done.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I've done it an injustice by saying that the teacher probably should have ended it because this.
Are you now listening to this?
Oh yeah, but no, I said that at the time.
Yeah.
I just think that it's testament to how good the songs are throughout the album that they both could have done that job perfectly. And I think we'd both be saying the same. We'd all say the same thing, no matter which way it was around. We'd say it's the perfect way to end the album.
I think ultimately
Um,
Rest is the right choice.
I do
Yeah.
agree. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's great. Yeah, it's a great closer. I've got no more to add.
Yeah. Same.
That's
So,
full five.
yeah. We
That
must
is-
rate.
We must rate. Cal, it's you first this time.
Oh,
Always.
I mean, I had a rating in mind,
Mm.
and I have increased it by 1
Okay.
throughout this because I have been listening to it, and I can't really fault it, other than the glass, which I mean, I'm nitpicking with the glass because it's fine. It's just not really for me. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And when I tell you I did not see that coming, yeah, I mean I did not see that
Yeah.
coming.
Boy, oh boy. Very strong score. As I said before, I haven't listened to this enough. I'm listening for it again now while doing this. I wish I had, and I will listen to it more. But based on my own silliness, it's getting an 8, which I still think is a very admirable score.
That's good after 2 listens.
It is very good.
It's solid, absolutely solid album. Not much to fault you, right?
Well,
Danny?
Cal, I was the same feeling as you, really. So I'm trying to weigh it out in my brain because I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna say 9.
Were you toying with a 10?
No, I was toying with an
Alright.
8.
All right.
But yeah, listening back, I listened to it before we recorded, and I've been listening to it while we've been talking about it, and it's just like the emotional aspect of it as well. I think is what's bumped it up for me. Yeah, it's just I'm amazed.
Let's save the tears for a little bit later on. But we need some tears. That gives us a full score of 9 out of 10.
Bloody Nora.
Right.
Fantastic. Good job, guys. Thanks for coming.
Dave, I hope that has rectified our relationship based on my all our medicine at midnight comments. You've
We'll
really redeemed yourself.
We'll
So
see,
well
eh?
done.